Whose idea was Beastie Boys? Mike. No.
Well, it was the
Adam,
two of
it was your
us.
idea?
We met going. You might have actually been the one, like you said, let's start a band.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, there was like a scene, like kind of like a punk scene in New York that was sort of like after the older punk scene. There was like an old punk scene with like Richard Hell and the Voidoids and the Ramones and all these kind of bands, and that scene was kind of petering out, and those people were getting really junkied out. Excuse me, but
or big time.
And big time, and so and we were
Well,
like
also
a bunch
we were
of
younger than
we were
that.
a bunch of
Yeah,
young
that
kids.
was-
We were like 14, 15 years old and starting to go to clubs, and there were bands playing like Bad Brains and Stimulators, and like a handful of bands playing around, and kind of this other scene was forming of really like young kids, and kind of everybody that was around just sort of formed bands. And I think everybody who was around was probably in like 5 different bands, you know, because there was just like maybe like 20 or 30 kids that were hanging out, and you'd just be like, oh, let's start a band, you know. And Beastie Boys was kind of one of those things. Was kind of like, oh, we should start a punk band, you know.
And who came up with the name?
I think it was actually, I was hanging out with our the first guitar player, John Barry, and John and I were kicking names back and forth. And I think John actually called it. John said, what about Beastie Boys?
Meaning?
I was like, yeah, that sounds good.
And Beastie Boys stands for?
Well, that's an afterthought, the acronym.
Yeah, yeah. To be honest, it was
It was nothing. It was just Beastie Boys.
Well, no. I mean, we then made it boys entering anarchistic states towards
internal excellence.
excellence.
But
But that was really to be honest, that was an afterthought. Yeah.